All right, welcome. I'm gonna play a new game. I just heard about this game. It's called Roadwarden, and it's got really good reviews. And I'm excited to play it. It's a very story-driven game. It's a sort of a text-based adventure, but as you can see, it's also got a lot of beautiful pixel art. So I think it'll make for an interesting kind of game experience because I feel like a lot of games can have really great gameplay, but then the story and the characters just kind of suck and it takes away my enjoyment. So I'm going to indulge a little bit in the opposite extreme where it's just all character and story. And apparently, the choices that you make in this game really do matter. And there's many different sort of paths that you can take, or many different endings that were written in the game. So, yeah, let's hop in and give it a try. They try to carve the world, yet their memories and tales dwindle. Their shells wither away. Homes and statues turn to dust. The wilderness prevails, as indifferent as time. Like you already tell, the writing's pretty good. And yeah, this is a game where you play as a road warden, and you sort of have a solitary existence, but maybe also kind of noble because you're trying to protect people who are traveling along the road. But we'll see. It's also a grim, dark fantasy. So I'm not sure how many adult themes will come into play here, but we'll see as we go. Just a fair warning, I suppose. All right, let's try it. Everyone knows to stay away from the wilderness. Most people would never risk a lonely journey. Road wardens not only accept this struggle, they embrace it. They deliver messages, assist merchants, burn human corpses, and if possible, get rid of the beasts and highwaymen. They live on the road, die young, or retire early. It's a dangerous job, but a respectable one, and it pays well. All right. So now we already have a question. Do I leave? Or what if I still have my doubts? What happens if I press that? Oh, we just come back. I already failed. I love that. I love that they give you the option to just, oh, this is too hard. Oh, it's hardcore mode. All right, let's leave the city walls. The difficulty, it can't be changed. I think we're just gonna go casual. Like, I'm here for the story, not like to, I don't know, go crazy with the RPG mechanics and, you know, try like, because I think if you're really trying to stretch yourself to the limit, maybe on a second playthrough, if I really enjoy it, I can do that. Okay, here we go. The wall is still standing. There are no wolves around, no stench of blood. Good signs. Also, hold on. I'm not sure about the audio. It seemed really low when we started stream, but I don't want it to be too loud and distracting. I think that's probably good there. Okay. This should be the place you're looking for. You were supposed to meet with a group of soldiers, but you hear no voices, no sounds of labor. The gate is ajar, but the camp isn't safe. It may keep away the goblins and pebblers, but not beastfolk nor trolls, and the night is near. Your palfrey breathes heavily. It had a long day. Okay, I could... the options, I could just look for another shelter. I need to look around cautiously. I dismount and sneak to the gate. Let's peek inside. I get off the horse and enter the camp briskly. Well, they're all good signs. All right. I don't see any reason I wouldn't just waltz in with the confidence and nonchalance that define my character. Apparently, I'm already coming up with some backstory. Your heavy boots hit the ground, and the pain of the long ride finally catches up with you. You stretch out, bringing your back and legs comfort. All you want now is a table, a decent chair, a nice mug of beer, and some warm stew. With any luck, your axe won't be needed here. I approach the gate, ready to walk in. Oh, it's saying here, take care of yourself. If you're hurt or exhausted, some actions won't be available to you. The weaker you are, the higher the chance you'll die in combat. So that's actually really good. Actions like this might not be available. Oh, wow. Okay. That's hard to like. It seems like they must have put a lot of thought into, yeah, all the different, what is it, like parallel universe kind of stories that can happen within this game. That's pretty cool. If it's a military camp, it doesn't look the part. Plenty of wasted space. The fire pit is cold. 2 people are sitting at the table, tired and disheartened. They're looking in different directions, paying no attention to one another. One of them is holding a cup. Okay. It's 30 minutes before dusk. 3 out of 4 vitality, you feel well. All right, I guess I walk I walk toward them. I guess my choices don't matter at this point. But also I like this art is really nice. It's got a really nice aesthetic and it's well drawn in this isometric style. It's actually, I feel like it's actually quite hard to do this. Okay, it takes them a few breaths to glance in your direction. The first person greets you with a wave of his hand. There are bags under his eyes. His beard is messy. Despite his simple shirt, he's wearing durable, decent boots. A mace with a head covered in iron hangs at his side, but he doesn't reach for it. And then I look at the other dude. Just like you, she's wearing a gambeson. Actually, I don't even know what that is. Some medieval garment, but hers is a bit loose, as if she took it off a corpse. Her head is shaven, as if she's protecting herself from flesh-eating bugs. Her eyes are weary yet kind. She smiles. Considering the squad was sent here half a year ago, these 2 surely look the part, though there should be more of them. 8, you believe. I walked in with confidence, and so I'm going to ask them about their lieutenant. You wonder how to phrase your question. Whenever you meet new people, you can influence how they perceive you by selecting one of the attitudes. Friendly, be supportive and cordial. Playful, use a joke or a witty comment. Distanced, hide your emotions. Intimidating, hint at a threat. Vulnerable, be sad, tired, afraid, or hopeless. I wonder, are these consistent for each time you interact? Because I wonder if people do like a full vulnerable mode, a vulnerable playthrough, what that would be like. So yeah, we will be, I think in this case, friendly. Like they're... Or we could be playful. Use a joke or a witty comment. We could cheer... You know what? Let's cheer them up. They look like they're worse for wear. They need a joke. I'm sure you're busy, so if you could just introduce me to your lieutenant. The armored soldier spares you a polite smile. Next time, better schedule a meeting. This place gets really crowded these days. She stands up. She pays little attention to the sword at her side. I figured you aren't here on a walk. Let's say it's me you need to speak with. Are you a messenger? Did you lose your mountain? Your mountain. Did you lose your mount? Or are you looking for help? Yeah, this is... and already I'll say, I do like that. You know, the sense of humor, like I made a joke, but the joke was kind of subtle. And so I like the way this is written. So the already off the bat, I just feel like the dialogue is good. The characterization feels real without it being over the top, you know? Anyways, I'm your new Roadwarden. My horse is waiting outside. I got plenty of dad jokes. There should be a dad joke playthrough of this. I'm sure there's mods, right? Really? The soldier in the shirt leans forward. That explains how you got here in one piece all by yourself. Better bring your beast here, adds the lieutenant. We have no hay, but I bet it dreams of dropping its saddle. A long pause. I'm Tulia, by the way. She reaches out her hand. Also, I know like Tulia is a Finnish name. At least if when it has 2 U's in it. I don't know if this version is used in Finnish, but yeah. So either I can shake her hand Or it may be a trap. Gesture for her to stop pretending to be embarrassed. I should wash myself first. There's no reason I wouldn't shake their hand. How do you want people to call you? Oh, this is dangerous. This is, I might have to pause here and think for a second, because my natural gamer instinct is to put something really silly. But I don't know if I want to read my name like butt cheeks 100,000 times over the next few hours. What should my name be? What's a good fantasy Roadwarden name? I don't know. Garrett. Is that even how you spell Garrett? Well, it's how you spell it in this fantasy world, all right? That's the whole point of a fantasy world, is you spell familiar names in as weird a way as possible. All right, we just picked a random name. Her grasp is confident. The shake is slight. Just keep your horse away from the tents. She steps away. We don't need to smell its dung. There's this one issue. The soldier in the shirt also rises to his feet. We've no tent to spare. You'll have to use a blanket or something. I can say, no problem, I enjoy observing the stars. I should get used to sleeping on the ground anyway. I'm a glass half full kind of person right now. I don't see any reason why I shouldn't. You walk through the gate. Your mount looks around and snorts anxiously. No, not many humans could ride a horse. It's not only taller than you, but also bulky, as heavy as it is strong. You can get in the saddle within a single breath, but most people wouldn't know where to even begin. From every side, it's a wall of flesh. Horses were brought to the Dragon Woods. Sounds pretty dangerous. Horses were brought to the Dragon Woods from the conquests in the south. They can trot for a long time, but won't outrun some of the local monsters. That's good to know. Your palfrey needs you to survive, but without it, you too would be lost. It's my only companion here. I want it to feel at ease. I don't care how it feels, but I need it to be strong if I want to travel, and I can't afford another one. Wait, what am I choosing here? Am I choosing the thoughts that my character is having? I suppose that's the case. It takes a few steps toward you, scolding you with another snort. You scratch the bottom of its neck with strength and confidence, just the way it likes. Humans see useful animals, and even pets, as monsters in disguise. Getting emotionally attached to them is believed to lead humans to their doom, but you know that horses need companionship. I'm Aragorn, baby. All right, oh yeah, this is I love this game already. I speak to it gently and lead it to the camp. You end up next to the fire pit. Removing the saddle makes the horse nicker with relief. You take a couple of minutes to examine its back, just in case. While the riding equipment is not that heavy for such a strong animal, with enough time it starts to chafe. You wish it had something better to eat than this shabby grass. You should look for an inn. I need to unpack. You haven't brought that many things, and you lost one of the sacks while fleeing the Crimson Corpse Eaters. What? I fled the Crimson Corpse Eaters. Okay, that's some backstory. Worst of all, you have no rope left. But maybe the soldiers could share one. Shouldn't cost more than a dragon bone. Wait. Is that actual currency in this world, dragon bones? Aside from the travel set, you own a few valuable possessions, essential for your trade. Oh, and I can choose. Okay. I can be a fighter. I spent my savings on decent combat equipment. I have a fine gambeson, an axe made of steel, and a reliable crossbow with quarrels. I can be a mage. Ooh, I already like this. Mage. I have talismans that help me use my powers, as well as an iron axe and a worn gambeson. Scholar. I carry writing instruments and alchemical ingredients. as well as an iron axe, a worn gambeson, and a small healing potion. Or I want to learn more about the 3 classes. I'm kind of between a scholar, writing, and alchemical, and a healing potion or talismans. I mean, I can be a scholar in the real world. I can't be a mage. But first of all, I need to find out what a gambeson is. Let me Google this. It's like a type of jacket, a padded defensive jacket worn as armor separately or combined with mail or plate armor. It looks, wow, okay. Yeah, I've seen people wearing that in these like medieval recreation videos or whatever. But hold on a second, come back here. Man, we'll go with mage. I mean, how cool. I can't wait to find out what talismans, I'm gonna have. Let's do that. Open your inventory to see your possessions. Taking hits will damage your armor. You can then fix it in various settlements. Okay. Inventory. Unless you're occupied with another task, you can eat food, drink potions, and use your items from this menu. Be sure to click on each new item you receive, as some of them can have unusual applications. Food rations. They consist of dried meat, crackers, nuts, seeds, fruits, and water. Merchandise. A pouch with coins. The city artisans make coins by cutting dragon bones into slices. That is an interesting idea. What is it? World building there. That the rarity of dragon bone, I guess, allows these to be used for a valuable trade. The equipment. Oh, a gambeson. It literally shows the picture here. I Googled it, but it's a padded defensive jacket made of linen filled with rags, the cheapest type of armor, yet surprisingly effective. Magical amulets. Magic is unreliable, so you've spent a sack of coins to collect a couple of enhancing amulets. They help you focus your pneuma in ways that you don't quite understand. I've never come across pneuma. Is that a common trope in some fantasy worlds to refer to, like, is that like your magical power, kind of like your mana? The travel set. Your sacks contain all sorts of useful tools. Okay. And the weapon, a simple battle axe. Traveling with an axe shows that you've learned how to fight humans and human-sized monsters. It's not masterfully made, but it's already been put to the test, and you've practiced with it for many days. Oh my, I can click and see even more? Oh my gosh. Magical amulets. A satchel that includes the leather pendant with a single pearl covered with cryptic engravings. You use it for simple tricks involving light. The clean linen bandage soaked in old herbal balms. You use it to heal fresh minor wounds. A couple of wooden spheres. They get warmer when put nearby an unusual amount of pneuma. The wand made of a willow branch, partially filled with quicksilver. It helps you channel your magical blast. I have a wand. Okay, I'm so glad I'm a mage. This is cool. I also have a lucky button. Cool. Okay, yeah, I'm not going to read all of this. But yeah, maybe I'll come back. But I do like that the game is introducing all of this like at step by step. We're not like overwhelmed with information before we even do our first move. Okay, you unpack and inspect your belongings. Your water skin isn't pierced. The spare clothes are still here. Just in case, you take a look at your wooden bowl and mug, your cape, tinder boxes, bandages, food rations, knife. Nothing special or too cumbersome. From time to time, your routine helps you avoid mistakes, but this doesn't make it any more exciting. I return to the soldiers. They're at the table again, observing your beast and chatting between themselves. Your stomach growls at the sight of them eating out of wooden bowls. One more bowl was put at a previously unused end of the table. You can sit down on a tree log. Wait, they put a bowl out for me? That's very kind of them. How very thoughtful. I mean, there's no reason they wouldn't be friendly. if they've welcomed me into their encampment, they know that I'm the road warden. So I can join them and take a look at the meal. I thank them for the meal, but I don't want to eat with them. I sit down and ask Tulia what she can tell me about this area. I completely ignore the meal. I sit down and speak to Tulia. No, of course I'm going to eat with them. That's like, why would you not do that? It's called gruel, the meal eaten in times of hardship. This specific bowl is filled with water, hog millet, some strange-looking cereals, and blueberries. I mean, I feel like hog millet is already a strange cereal. But, this is a strange world, okay? And blueberries? So I guess, are we like in a northern area? Like a northern part of Europe, kind of, where blueberries are wild and freely available? Because I can't imagine they would have fresh blueberry deliveries, right? So, and it's probably that time of year when blueberries, right? What is that, July and August? Welcoming you with a meal, even a humble one, is beyond their duty. Soldiers live with and for their companions, constantly on the move from one part of the realm to another, making sacrifices to protect their group as they face dozens of hideous creatures. Their lives are filled with discipline, hardship, and camaraderie. That reminds me of, one of my favorite themes in Game of Thrones are, the Jon Snow chapters when he goes to the Wall and he joins as a brother of the Night's Watch. This kind of has that vibe. Road Wardens, on the other hand, learn how to work by themselves. They seldom engage in open combat, patrolling the same roads for years. They help the settlement stay in touch, but also maintain commerce, settle down, forge friendships. When there are no laws to follow, they use their own judgment. Different responsibilities, different lifestyles. I wonder why they work by themselves. Like, why does the Road Warden need to be solo? Like, couldn't it be? Look, I mean, if I learned anything from Fellowship of the Ring, okay, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. Put it on a poster. Someone else said that. I just copied it. I eat quickly, not focusing on the taste, then speak with Tulia. I didn't see there was a note over here about nourishment. It's easier for you to overcome physical struggles. She's focused and chooses her words carefully. She looks away only when she gathers her thoughts. I'm afraid I can tell you less than I would like to and less than I should. She nods toward the other soldier. As you can see, there's not a lot of us left. At the beginning of summer, there were 8 of us, including our previous lieutenant. 5 are dead, 1 has run away in tears. Whoa, okay. We're also strangers in this land, adds her companion. What happened? Any piece of information may help me do my job. The man leans forward. His legs shake nervously. He sounds like a kid asking a bard to sing one more story, tell a joke, or do a magic trick. Whatever it takes to escape from boredom. His untrimmed beard hides a much younger face than you originally thought. What did the officials tell you? I expect not that much. No soul governs these lands. I consider what to be relevant. What I've discussed with the officials should stay between me and them. Well, I'll share. I'm an open book. You tell the soldiers how little guidance you've received. Since this area is too far away from Hovlaven, to keep it under control, you were warned that it's untamed and unknown. Who knows how many villages, bandits, or monsters may be found in these unmapped hills and forests. From time to time, new people come here to look for boundless opportunities. Most of them never return. Do they turn into walking corpses, or find what they're looking for? No soul could tell me, so I was looking for your guidance. The lieutenant drinks from her cup and crosses her legs, ankle on knee. Seeing her chair makes you doubt she'll ever find a comfortable position. Where should we start? Okay. What should I know about the peninsula? Any ideas what happened to the previous road warden? I've lost my rope. Could you spare one? What happened to your squad? How'd you become lieutenant? What's your squad's mission? What should I know about this camp? Where would you go next if you were me? I need to ask them about the peninsula, the road warden, and the rope. All right, I'll just start here. Peninsula. I'll tell you what I know, and you'll be the judge, says the lieutenant. How long did it take you to get here from the city? On a decent palfrey, I'd guess it would be 3-4 days. When you confirm, she continues. From here, you can reach the coast in about a day, as long as you don't take many stops. Do you know... sometimes... Was it a good decision for me to do this? This game? Because I'm not... Am I a good reader? Come on, I can do it. Do you know the situation? Why no ships can get here? You nod. The sea route allows Havlavan officials to keep in touch with the coastal villages, collect taxes, move the soldiers, collect lumber, deliver tools. But maintaining order on a wild coast, such as this one, is like filling the ocean depths with coins. Hey, 27, how's it going? Good to see you here. And then, so because of the rocks, you can hardly stop a ship 5 miles from the shore, and boats can't get much closer. She nods. I don't know much about fishing, but there's not that many people living by the shore, and they don't crave to stay in touch with the city folk. As she pauses, her companion carries on. No soul from the north ever came to the camp, but when we travel to the roadside inn, Pelts of the North, they're happy to trade and to play dice. Okay, so there's an inn called Pelt of the North. All right. Why not just stay at one of the settlements? The man clears his throat. I mean, you know, we're to guard this road. This camp is our post. And, well, he turns toward Tulia. She lowers her voice. Don't take it the wrong way, Garrett, but are you a devout soul? Oh, wow, okay. I love already the level of story building or world building that's happening where we got like we can choose our sort of religion or whatever spiritual alignment. Like most city folk, I believe that people should unite their strength to overcome the threats of nature and dark magic. Everyone will be judged for both good and evil deeds. I'm a part of the United Church. I don't know, that doesn't ring as true as I'd like. For many years, I've supported a monastery that does its best to advance mankind's spiritual growth, artistry, herbalism, and magical research. I follow the teachings of an order of truth. I like this one better. I'm from a small village. For me, the freedom of shell, pneuma, and soul are the main virtues of life. My community is unique and independent, and so are its members. I have a place in my fellowship. Ooh, I also like that one. I have a strong connection to nature and spirits and follow the path of my ancestors. Some of my beliefs may be considered sinister and treacherous by the city folk. You'd probably call me a pagan. Oh, I kind of like that one too. I want to roleplay as a pagan. There's no evidence of the right's existence. Wait, the right? Is that like the creator? Kind of like a playwright is someone who creates plays or writes plays. This would be like the writer, the creator of the universe. I like that. And all the mystical tales are explained by magic. No, I'm not. I like that. Instead of being explained by science, it's explained by magic. It's just very straightforward magic. Yeah. This one's kind of funny. I like this one, the pagan. Though, I don't know, maybe that's a little too, like, treacherous and sinister. I'm not feeling that. Either I like the monastery or I like the small village. The freedom. Although I do like the idea of being a magical researcher, you know. Yeah, I'm learning to read 27. This is my, reading simulator 2024. I'm going to do this one. Partly just because it says fellowship. And I like the idea that I'm from some small village and that I've become a mage, overcoming the odds. Oh, I see. She hesitantly looks away. I don't know much about the River of Faith, but I'm sure we're not that different. I'm a Unite myself, she says with a sort of pride in her voice. So she follows the United Church. Maybe just explain what you were thinking of. I'll just go, The people here are disquieting. Every few words, she taps the table with her finger. Their traditions won't help them negotiate with the officials. Here, she starts to draw lines with her index finger as if she's pointing at an invisible map. The peninsula is connected with roads, like a big circle. Wait, the peninsula is connected with roads like a big circle. Okay. In the northwest, you'll find a weird village at a bog. It's not exactly pagan, I don't think. It even has a priest who claims to be an eremite like yourself. An eremite. Okay. There's a lot of lore being dropped on me, all right? I'm going to do my best here to keep up. They do crazy shit, her companion chips in. Why do I feel like now suddenly he's like, I'm imagining Matthew McConaughey from True Detective kind of being like this. They use the dead to cut down trees and dig in the soil. Once I saw it, I begged to never return there. Okay. They use the dead to cut down trees and dig in soil? Wait, are the dead like slaves to them? Like they can command them to like do tasks for them? Like this is Graveyard Keeper? You've heard tales such as this one since you were a child. If an isolated settlement manages to survive without a city's influence, its customs and traditions grow more and more alien. Every generation learns how to adapt to the dangerous conditions they have to deal with, and the rustic pagan traditions muddy their river of faith. The United Church often warns its members about the crazy druids, necromancers, and blood mages. Ooh, I like druids. The bringers of doom, the traitors to humankind. Were you able to speak with these necromancers? And how about the East? So I guess the idea was that they were able to use the sort of undead to do labor for them, like manual labor, like cutting trees. Well, we'll find out more maybe. How about the East? Any monster worth mentioning? Anything that could catch my mount? Actually, I want to hear about the necromancers. Tell me more about that. You can see why we were not eager to go there if we could avoid it, the lieutenant chuckles. Maybe they'll be more welcoming to a Roadwarden. The roads are dangerous, with little to no shelters. People need your help. The man in the shirt turns a bit and points a finger to the northwest. If you're heading to the undead village, you'll get to an inn first, and soon. Tulia nods. Hell to the north is a safe place. You can talk with the innkeeper or the guards. Ask them about the road. How about the East? Any monsters worth mentioning? Okay, we'll ask about the East. She stares off across the map, the camp. Hard to tell. We went there only once. There are hills, forests, rivers. We saw a tunnel sculpted in leaves and branches, but we didn't enter it. Wilderness all around. The tunnel kind of sounds like out of Mirkwood Forest. You know? Any monsters? We saw all sorts of beasts. The man starts to count on his fingers. Goblins, treants. What is that? Cats large and small. Runners, howlers, wolves, spiked boars, mouflon eaters, griffins. But we managed to stay away. Is a mouflon eater just an animal that eats sheep? Isn't that like the French word for sheep? I can't remember. As I know, mouton is the French. Oh, anyways, whatever that is. Some could catch up with most mounts. Tulia glances at her companion. Though a palfrey should be fine. The trees are so tall that the flying creatures keep to the coast and mountains. There's not that many humans around, and the animals are busy fighting among themselves. They fight more for food than territory. The soldier cracks his knuckles. Don't provoke them and ride fast. Just count on luck. That's all I need to know. I don't know why. I kind of want to give them like a Western accent, like an American Western accent. She nods. I'm afraid we can't do more for you. All right. What happened to the previous Roadwarden? Tulia takes a deep breath. Aren't you a bit late for a rescue mission? We haven't heard from him in almost half a year. The soldiers speak for a bit between themselves, trying to get their story straight. They confirm that he had stopped by their camp a few times, but stopped showing up at all in early summer. The bearded soldier starts to scratch the table with the tip of his knife, without looking at you. I don't remember his voice. always busy, drowning in things to take care of. He would sit somewhere, sharpen his sword, fix his loud mail, clean clothes, write notes on that wax tablet of his. Yep, and leave at dawn, unlike us. Asterion never gets bored. Tullio lets out a joyless chuckle. He's secretive, but some of the locals speak about him warmly. Maybe he just doesn't like us. Sounds like you're not sure if he's dead or not. Hold on, wait. He stopped showing up in early summer. And you haven't heard from him in almost half a year. So we're like in late autumn? I guess that would work with the color scheme over here. I'm trying to figure out what time of year it is. But maybe we'll find out later. If anyone knows, they won't tell us. Maybe someone is keeping him in a basement. The man carves with passion. We haven't seen him, or his saurian. Something ate them, I bet. Is that a type of horse, a saurian? The officials have hired you, right? They don't expect him to return. Richer road wardens often use four-legged, meat-eating saurians as their mounts. Four-legged, meat-eating saurian. They have to be tamed and trained since they're hatching. But unlike horses, can easily defend themselves from many monsters. At least your palfrey is fast and reliable and won't suddenly sink its teeth into an innocent passerby. Do you know what he was looking for? Maybe he left you a message. Neither one of us had any insight into his dealings, says Tulia. My predecessor left me no clues. We also took a look at Asterian stuff. Wait, she raises her open palm. I almost forgot. She stands up and heads to a nearby tent. He has kids in a village near Havlaven. I was planning to take all his things there. A pouch, a second spear, a decent bow, some potions. Quite a treasure, she glances at you. But I would much prefer to bring them the truth about their father. So you want me to find out what happened to him in exchange for his stuff? Here's the catch. She dusts off the hilt of her sword. We've hired a messenger to ask the commanders for further orders. Since she hasn't returned and you know nothing about her, she either ran away or something happened to her. She sighs with resignation. We're meant to stay here until fall. Wait. I guess it's late. I guess it's in the summer, maybe? What time of year is it? What do you think? Come see us. Tell us what you've learned about the man, and we'll get back to Havlaven together. You think about your real mission. You were planning to return to Havlaven in the early fall anyway. If he's alive, I don't think he's going to be happy about me taking away all of his possessions. True, but he's considered dead. I doubt he'd begrudge you anything. And who knows? You may just find his shell lying on the roadside tomorrow. He wears mail, uses a spear mostly, maybe 5 feet tall but stout, long, red beard, short hair, pale face, rarely smiles. She glances at her companion, but after he adds nothing, she sits down and stretches out her legs. So find out what happened to him. Dead, alive, left. Just let me know. Wait, what is he? 5 feet tall but stout. 5 feet tall is quite short for a I thought road wardens are supposed to be these like really rugged dudes. But I mean, he's stout. He's like a stout axe dwarf. Long red beard and short hair. Rarely smiles. I gotta ask about the rope and the squad. How'd you become lieutenant? I like this. I like the world building here. You're in luck. She heads toward one of the crates and moves aside a large linen sack, revealing a rope. She brings it back and nonchalantly sits down on her chair. Take it. I was planning to leave it behind. This is like Samwise getting the rope from Galadriel. I guess it wasn't Galadriel that gave it to him, but the Galadriel's people. A fine rope, a regular rope made of hemp fibers. I take it and offer some food in return. Of course, have a few nuts and seeds. You've received a rope and lost a food ration. Okay, so like we get updates in the top left. That's good to know. Tulia leans forward and rests her forearms on her thighs, looking down with clasped hands, then meets your eyes. I'd normally refuse, but we need some decent food. Every day I'm searching through our groats, looking for worms and putridity. We forage, but it's not a great spot. Some food rations will brighten up a foggy day. I just gave her like 6 almonds, and she's like, thank you. Yes. Wow, thank you so much. For now, you leave the rope on the table. This is, Tyler's Reading Society Gathering. Hey, it's a different type of game. I'm excited. Look, the game is projected to be around 10 hours total. So, sit right back and you'll hear a tale. But, we're not going to do this. If this was like 100 hours, I wouldn't be able to do this. Okay, I leave the rope on the table. What happened to your squad? Also, I gotta have some water. This is a lot more. Even it's funny how like sorry about that. Thank you, 27. That was not a good time for the microphone to malfunction, but here we are. Yeah. Tulia sighs. Very much so. They killed some and took others away, who knows where. They were letting the Northerners go, hoping to avoid their wrath. It kind of worked, adds the soldier. We asked them for help, but they refused. We had to clear the entire camp on our own, and that's why 3 of our people died. Don't exaggerate, it's not like the lieutenant didn't make a mistake. He wanted to get rid of them and take over their camp. But we didn't know our enemy well enough. We were outnumbered, and they had an ice mage among them. She looks at you. At least we cleared the road, saved lives. You mentioned monsters as well? Nothing that would surprise you. Those of us who survived the skirmish were young, too inexperienced to spend a summer in this place without a good leader, and they didn't trust me. One of them got caught by a treant. Another one ignored my orders to perform some sort of a ritual hunt, so a werebear tore her to pieces. The last one tried to act tough, didn't tell us that he had cut his hand while cleaning his gambeson. She lets out a ghastly chuckle. We had to cut it off, and he was so ashamed that he decided to walk north, find a new life, disappear. Idiot. What a colorful journey. The man tries to drink from his mug, but it's empty. You've made this place safer. Barely. Tulia seems tired. And who knows if it was worth the lives and effort. How'd you become lieutenant? That's not much of a story, honestly. She looks at her hand, which is currently rolling a mug over the table. In the city, there's a strict order of, what should I call it? She exchanges looks with her companion, but he can't help her. Well, leadership succession, I guess. Hovlovan chief selects commanders, those select lieutenants, and those put their soldiers in order of a priority. If a lieutenant dies, they get replaced by the next soldier in line. So you're his successor. No, not exactly, but when we fought the bandits, our lieutenant was hit by a slingshot. His boyfriend jumped to help him, but failed to protect either of them from a spell. It was like a ball of ice that hung above them and exploded, piercing their heads, completely avoiding their shield. Really unpleasant. She pauses. And you were the third one in line, is that right? Jumping like that to save a man in the middle of an attack doesn't sound like a wise decision. I'm going to ask about the third in line. Basically, yeah, she says without enthusiasm. I didn't plan to become a leader, though. I'll get demoted once we return to the city. I prefer to follow anyway. What was your squad's mission? The lieutenant looks into her eyes. You know, the usual, making the road safe, keeping people alive. I'll explain that it may be important for me to know what they have tried to accomplish. I explain that it may be important for me to know what they have tried to accomplish. Maybe we need to do these live streams like at 9 a.m. when I've had coffee. Because I'm like, it's I don't know. Sometimes in the evening, it's hard to read. I can't really tell you. Let's just say it would be nice to have a reliable outpost somewhere nearby. A place where you can always find a group of fighters willing to protect you in the name of the law. She tilts her head back. Now, if you have any other questions, anything I should know about this camp? I just ask every question available. I'm a completionist, all right? The story is brief. Some merchants built the camp to have an extra stop for mules and donkeys, just between the inn and the southern villages. There's plenty of grass here and a pond nearby. When the peninsula grew more dangerous, the camp stood abandoned, from time to time serving as a shelter for travelers. The bandits came here in spring, further paralyzing the exchange of information between the northern and southern settlements. Since these highwaymen are no more, the situation may reverse. Time will tell. You can sleep here wherever you want, the man concludes their tale. Though don't expect to wake up without pain in your back. If you were me, where would you go next? The soldier answers quickly. To the inn, of course. He grabs his empty mug. The one northwest from here. If you can't afford the room, the main hall is free of charge. The locals rarely gather there. The northern road is much more traveled, mentions Tulia. But the hunters will tell you about this and that, and you'll have a chance to introduce yourself. The innkeeper can listen and knows many souls. Any tips on how I can make a good first impression on him? She smirks. Avoid cheap jokes. Stick to trade. Don't waste his time. Show him that you can be relied on. See, 27, I have to avoid cheap jokes. You wouldn't survive in this world, 27. You would not be welcome at this inn. Well, I don't know. Maybe you can behave yourself in this grim, dark fantasy world. It's getting late. We should prepare for the night. I agree, Tulia sighs with relief. And may you do better than Asterion did. Stay vigilant. She winks at you, shattering the mask of a soldier. Thank you for your help. See? You just got to be nice to people, and everything is fine. We're just going to play a nice strategy. Pacifist playthrough, okay? One more thing, if I can. The bearded man approaches you. Can you take the first watch? Splitting time between 3 people makes a great difference. You think for a moment. To fully rest, you'd need a good sleep. Well, I mean, I'll take the watch. I'll take it. Fabulous. He pats your shoulder. It should be calm, at least before midnight. Wake me up in a few hours, or even earlier if anything happens. I'm happy to do my part. You go to the barrel and splash water on your face, which makes you even more aware. I got my Steam notifications going. You go to the barrel and splash water on your face, which makes you even more aware of how much you need a bath. After the night, it will only get worse. Your horse is already napping, still too anxious to lay down. I prepare for my watch. Oh, your world is nice. You don't need a substitute world, 27. That's right. All right, okay. You're doing just fine in this world. The soldier in the shirt is eager to guide you. Just observe the area. There's plenty of griffins around, though they won't try to jump over the palisade, probably. What's a griffin? Isn't a griffin like one of those lions that has like wings? I don't know. Better watch out for the apes. They climb up and carry out any food they can. And there's this one really loud were-elk. I've never seen that, but I like that. A were-elk that keeps smelling the wall, though it's never tried to get in. Like, if a werewolf is a wolf that also turns into a man, Does the elk turn into a man at night, like under the moon or something? He points at a gate. The lieutenant and I will block the entrances. They're quite heavy, so if anyone comes here looking for shelter, better call us to help you out. And if this someone is being chased by wolves or anything, better throw them the rope instead. He scratches his head. If it gets cold, feel free to make a fire, and the best place is on the watchtower. You may want to put a blanket there or something. The watchtower? Griffin is a mythical creature known as a half-eagle, half-lion, but Griffin is spelled with an I-N. It was spelled O-N in the text earlier, so maybe they're different things. I don't know. He gives you a long, puzzled look. Oh, here. He points at the pile of crates. Just climb up to the tallest one. You'll have a great view at the northern side, the more dangerous side. And also, I know you're tired after all that riding. He points at the tent on the other side of the camp. I can handle a couple hours sleeping on the ground. If you wish, go there after me and rest, just this once. At least I have a pallet inside. I smile, thanks a lot. You put your blanket on the tallest crate and sit down. Ooh, I like the sound effects. The night is warm, but the sporadic summer breeze. It's summer. We're in summer. The sporadic summer breeze brings gentle refreshment. From time to time, your back aches, and you have to force yourself to keep your eyes open. The light of the moon helps you focus on the tall grasses. For most of the time, you spot smaller critters and birds, but there are exceptions. At one point, you see three-horned deer trying to challenge one another. Before they clash their antlers, a two-legged dragonling appears, leading its much smaller offspring. The furry beasts try to intimidate the predators with roars and aggressive head movements. After a few moments, both sides walk away slowly, not willing to risk the fight, nor to admit their defeat. I don't let it distract me. I keep looking around. You hear the death screams of distant prey and the mating calls of monkeys. Runners are chasing a gray hare. A group of musk oxen lazily chew the grass, preparing themselves to sleep. A dusk fox is running together with a lynx, making playful screeches. Thankfully, you never have to intervene. You just sit there, watching the not-so-distant forest, trying to outlast your sleepiness. You can only guess how much time has passed. Once you feel you've had enough, you climb down and go to a tent, waking up the bearded man with just a couple of words. You confirm that nothing important has happened. I gather my things and squeeze into the tent. I use my bag as a pillow, put my blanket on the pallet, and cover myself with my cloak. Sleeping in a tent is not the stuff of dreams, but it's a much welcomed rest. The pallet keeps the cold soil away. The moonlight saves the outside world from the eerie gloom. You listen to your own breath and find a comfortable position. Your job starts tomorrow. I focus on the real goal of my journey. New journal entry: explore the peninsula. The Merchant Guild wants to take control of this realm. Your wardening duties are secondary. First and foremost, you need to explore the peninsula, learn about the territory, resources, and threats, get to know the locals, and, if you can, convince them to consider negotiations with Havlavan officials and traders. Could the tribes resist the soldiers, or be a threat to the priests of the United Church? Are there any forbidden practices that need to be eradicated, such as blood magic, necromancy, robbery, or slavery? Okay. But the Merchant Guild wants to take control? The wardening duties are secondary. Yeah, it's kind of curious that Roadwardens, you would think that such a dangerous job, like the number one rule is don't go out into the wilderness alone. I'm curious to find out what's the logic behind this. Why are Roadwardens such solitary creatures? At least I have time. I need to be as thorough as I can. Once you finish your reconnaissance, you should speak with Tulia and return to Havlavan. There, you'll report back to your employers and get your reward. In the meantime, you have your own goal to pursue. Okay, so Havlavan is the town I started at. I came to this little settlement on the way to another settlement. I guess this isn't a settlement. This is an outpost, where the guards are. And then I'm going to go to the inn. And then on my way back, I'll stop here again to talk to Tulia before going back to Havlavan. Okay. I need to gather some extra coins so I can save my sibling from debt collectors. What? Okay. I'm kind of curious, like, if we choose one of these, obviously that's part of the story now. But if we don't choose it, does that mean it's not part of the story, or like it's still maybe in the background, but we haven't actively thought about it? I don't know. I assume it's probably not part of the story. I need to gather some extra coins so I can retire early and live in prosperity and safety. If I gather enough connections among the local leaders, I'll use them to become a major player in the merchant guild. I want to be remembered as a soul who brought peace and order to this realm, a hero. Just want to help people, make this region safer for the locals and the newcomers alike. I need to find a new life for myself. I have a difficult past, and I want it to be forgotten. I like this one. I don't know what this one leads to, but this is the most enticing one. So I'm going to click that. The griffin is used a lot in Nordic heraldry. Yeah. Your half-asleep senses are catching the sounds of the wild forest. Your instincts keep you alert and anxious, though the pleasant, humid late summer air evens it out slowly. So it is, I mean, blueberries are a late summer berry. So it checks out. You're thinking about your goal, but you need to gather your strength. You can't travel during the night. Press the sleep button to rest. Oh, okay. All I can do now is rest. Sleep. Boom. Sleeping in a tent. You can spend the night in a borrowed tent. It's nothing special, but it will protect you from the wind and rain, and the ground won't be painfully hard nor cold. What? What are all these symbols? Oh, it just means I get my rest increases by this amount. What is this supposed to depict? Is this supposed to be like bread in a bowl? These other ones I get. A heart, like armor. I don't know what this is. Is this Numa, maybe? And then this is my sleep. Okay. So we get like a third of our sleep back, or exhaustion. I don't know. Rest. Wow, I love the art. Like, that's just beautiful. You take a look at your amulets. For most people, they would be nothing more than trash, but you wouldn't sell them for a pouch of dragon bones. You use them to shape Numa to your will. With these little mementos, the few spells you're familiar with are far more reliable. Who knows, maybe there's already some power held in them. You look at the old, though clean bandages that remember dozens of herbal balms and wounds. You can put them on your hurting muscles, bruises, and scratches, then hum an old song about time, which either heals all wounds or kills us too soon to let us bother with our problems. After a few hours or so, the linen will warm up, confirming it did its job. This tent may not be much, but your spell would make you feel as good as new, though you'd lose some of your energy. Ah, so it's like icy hot. Like, you just got some icy hot bandages that he puts on. But yeah. So I don't need to restore my Numa tonight. I perform the ritual. Cost 2 Numa. I'd rather keep my soul stronger than my shell. Wait, well, what is my Numa? Oh, this is, okay, I can hover over it. It tells me. The star is appearance. Nourishment. Vitality, armor. Oh, I thought this was exhaustion, but this is my Numa. You can use your magical amulets to cast minor spells. Wait, but I need a bath. Will it improve my vitality? Hold on a second. I mean, I'll use my Numa. Why not? I want to, because I don't know what it's going to affect. I think that's where I'm a bit confused. So let's see. I mean, if given the opportunity to cast a spell, that's what I'm going to do. I guess did it heal my vitality, or was that because I slept? Who knows? You're woken up by sunlight, well rested and ready. Without haste, you gather your things. After only a couple of breaths, you notice a weird smell, like a roast. No, burning meat, burning rotten meat. Disgust crawls into your consciousness. You exit the tent. Your horse is looking around nervously. Your bags are where you had left them. You see an open gate. I go outside to see what's happening. Both soldiers are standing near a humble pyre. The man in the shirt looks at it contemplatively. Tulia is the first one to address you. Garrett. I'm glad I chose this name and not Butt Cheeks, though it would be hilarious. I missed the opportunity. But I don't know. We'll save that for like another playthrough of another game. Garrett, she greets you with a nod. We use the horse's manure for the flames, so don't worry about cleaning it up. You see a corpse among the flames. It's impossible to tell if it belongs to a male or female, but it was an adult. The burning process won't be over for a couple more hours. A traveler or an undead? The latter, a young one. She lacked the pneuma to understand that she couldn't get inside the camp without climbing. I stabbed her with a spear from a safe distance. She shifts her weight. One more fog and she'd be a real threat. Even now it took a couple of hits to knock her down. Sooner or later, every human shell wakes up, gaining more strength, with each soul it devours and each moment it spends in the fogs. Burning the dead is not just a religious practice, it's a necessity. Soldiers, priests, village mayors, even road wardens. Making a large pyre takes a lot of time, but it saves lives. Tulia calls this undead a she. Most Unites hesitate to do so. Okay, interesting. This has a lot of Game of Thrones vibes, like the others, and in the north, beyond the wall. Time for me to leave. Running away from the reek, huh? I don't blame you. She walks with you for a few steps. Find us here if you need us, or if you learn what happened to Asterion. There's enough ground here for you to rest. Safe travels. These words make you stop. An old farewell, mocked in a number of songs and tales, but yet you hear no scorn in Tulia's voice. You wonder how many acts of kindness like this one you're going to experience in the days to follow. She returns to the pyre. I prepare myself for the journey. I need to wet my whistle for this. You use the travel button to see the map and move to another area. Okay. You somehow miss the fact that your mount is already saddled and warmed up. You double check the equipment, but you don't need to fix anything. The soldiers were diligent. Normally, preparing any palfrey for a long journey takes a lot of time. You put on your gambeson and make sure that your axe is tightly attached to your belt, but then get in the saddle. The palfrey knickers, ready to leave. It's time for you to get to the crossroads, north from here. Okay, let's look at our map. Travel forward to continue your journey. Once you're done with the north, speak to Tulia to return to Havlaven. This is cool. Even at a later hour, you wouldn't expect to meet any travelers in the valley. The warm summer breeze lures your mount forward, but the serene chirping of birds is quickly replaced by the distracting screeches and gurgles coming from further down the path. You soon find the pack of four-legged griffins. See, griffin with O-N. And now it's going to explain what they are. They're larger than foxes and merge the features of birds and furred beasts. So kind of like a griffin, like the lion and eagle. Each one is of a different size, coat, and colors, and their temperaments are just as varied. Their fronts are covered with vivid feathers, while their rears have darker fur. Their wings are massive, making them impressive jumpers, but they're too heavy to fly. That's why they couldn't get into the camp or something. About 24 beasts are yelling, brawling, and chasing each other around, blocking your path. I consider my options. You can't enter the forest blindly. If these or other creatures were to chase after you, the thicket would be disastrous for your horse. There are reasons why travelers stay as close to the main roads as possible and why adventurers move in groups. See? Why are road wardens solo? Usually the safest approach would be to stay where you are and just wait for the pack to get hungry. It may, however, take up to a couple of hours. You're thinking about your conversation with Tulia. You've got a lot to do and time may be of the essence. The safest approach is to stay and just wait for them to get hungry. But wouldn't they come after me? Wait, what's preventing them from coming after me outside of the forest as opposed to when I go in? I'm not sure, but well, we'll find out. The dice icon marks the actions that involve a random chance. Ah, okay. If you have enough Pneuma, you can cast spells to access unique interactions. What if I click? I click it, but nothing happens. Oh, I could cast a spell here. Maybe. We'll see. I take my axe and hurry the horse. If we ride fast enough, we should be fine. I should stay here. Better safe than sorry. Wait, what if I want to click to restore Pneuma, you need to rest. I grab an amulet and shape a missile of light. A harmless flare will frighten them off. Yeah. I'm a mage. This is what I'm good for. You grab one of your oldest amulets, a pendant made of leather and a single dim pearl. The little sphere is covered by cryptic engravings, but if there's any special meaning behind them, you were never able to find out what it could be. You can learn more about your abilities in the character sheet. Okay, holding the pearl. Wait, hold on. I was reading without understanding. I wasn't actually paying attention. The pendant made of leather and a single dim pearl, covered by cryptic engravings. Holding the pearl between your fingers, you feel the pleasant, familiar warmth. The spell you are about to cast is not much more than a mere illusion, but you take a couple of breaths, trying to minimize any risk of failure. The Pneuma leaves your shell, formed into a white ball that you barely comprehend. When it falls next to the griffins, for a couple of blinks it emits a dazzling light. The animals squeak and snarl, fleeing in multiple directions at once. The road is now clear. That's pretty cool. Wait, let's look at character. It had mentioned here. Spells. You can spend Pneuma to overcome challenges with wands and amulets. Healing ritual. Whenever you go to sleep, you can spend Pneuma to restore your vitality. Okay, that was a question I had earlier. Like, what am I healing? It was my vitality went up to 4. It was at 3 the night before. And that only goes up if I heal, not if I simply sleep. And my nourishment is at 1 out of 4 already. I have high vitality, but not much else. I'm an eremite, a member of a fellowship, even though I'm a solo Roadwarden. It's a complicated story, all right? I'm a complicated character. Okay. We're back. Oh, so I ride forward and enjoy the touch of my pendant. It cools down slowly. Again, I really like how the way that they've depicted the trees and the bushes and it's well done. I've been trying to make pixel art myself, and doing this is hard. So I appreciate it. Keep track of your achievements as your journey unfolds. Okay. Is that up here? No. Also, I just want to say, I'm really enjoying this game. Like, it reminds me of playing Dungeons and Dragons with one of my friends who's like a pretty experienced dungeon master. And having this sort of handcrafted story where like you're making decisions and the game is responding, and I love it. And it's also so nice that you know that there's this whole world that's going to unfold in front of you, and it's just waiting for you to like walk into it. Even if a lot of it is sort of like predetermined, right, or like pre-planned, there's still a lot of freedom within it that is quite enjoyable. So I imagine a lot of people from D&D might enjoy a game like this. Like, it's almost like what D&D should be in terms of like, you know, if someone could make up the story on the spot like this, that would be very impressive. The road splits. According to what the soldiers have told you, you may find a safe inn by turning left. The forest to the right is lush and the trail overgrown. Kids used to have this song. How did it go? The harshest pathway leads to the dragon's lair. Those who search for treasure, do you truly dare? The signpost in front of you doesn't make your situation much clearer. It was put here by someone who can't write, for folks who can't read. Covered in old red paint, it points east. Blood there, as people say, danger to be found. There's not a soul to ask for guidance. I look at my horse. Of course, that's what I do. Oh, what's the horse's name? What's the horse's name? I mean, let me look up some horse names. What do we got? Moonvale? I asked ChatGPT to come up with some names for me. Willowmane, Mistbloom, Amberhoof. What is this? I mean, these are like... well, actually, I like some of these names, like Cloverstep, Maryleaf, Duskrunner, Honeydew, Velvet Step. I kind of think Duskrunner. That's a good one. Let's Duskrunner. Dusky for short. Dusky. That's a good horse name, Dusky. Duskrunner. Duskrunner is peaceful as you stroke its mane. Maybe it can't help you choose a path, but you've spent many years together, happy to go on. It takes a couple of steps forward. You spot a few berry shrubs and wild cabbages, but they still need at least 2 weeks to gain maturity. Wait, we were having blueberries. Just I'm questioning the seasons based on the berry maturity. No. All right, time to make a turn. I travel, so I have to press travel. And either I go west or I go east. East was into the forest. Okay, the southern crossroads, a point connecting the deep forests of the east, the western wetlands, and the road to Havlavin. You're currently here. I don't really know, but... Hold on, wait, did it... I can't see the descriptions of the roads again. So I'm just going to go west. Duskrunner trots with ease, unbothered by the few branches covering the beaten road. The bird songs and distant howls draw your attention to the forest, which gets sparser and brighter. You spot boars, roe deer, and saurians. The sight of a nearby wolf pack worries you, but once you push your hips forward and your palfrey enters a canter, the beasts don't even begin a pursuit. The speed alone will protect you from any dangers. You notice a stone tower taller than the trees. It must be the inn I've heard about. What is this? Dr. Bunsen Honeydew is a Muppet character from television series Muppet Show? Wait, I didn't know Honeydew was from the Muppets, but that's another good horse name. Inns like this one fit the regions traveled by merchants, but you wouldn't expect a place of this size in a forsaken peninsula. The stone and lumber must have been transported from far away, and the workers, guarded by expensive mercenaries, surely lived for many seasons in a primitive hamlet, subsisting on salted supplies. There are seemingly no cracks in the wall, and the building was whitewashed only a few years back. The road is wide and beaten. Dozens of souls could hide, if not in the buildings, then at least in the yard. The expenses and labor put into this fortress were worth many trading ships. I love that. It's like this fortress. It kind of just looks like a barn with a wall around it. It doesn't look that impressive, but I'll take your word for it. I guess in this grimdark world, this is actually a fortress. Let's see. 3 armed people are on the ramparts, though you only see what's above their waistline. They're leaning on the parapet right next to the gate, and you think you notice a glimpse of a smile. They wear gambesons, each one of them dyed differently, yellow, green, and linen gray. They're like the dwarves in The Hobbit with their different colored hats. I approach the gate. A woman in yellow armor leans forward. She has long, curly, disorderly red hair, pointing in every possible direction. This combination of colors doesn't work at all. In the woods, one would have to shout to draw this much attention. There's still a fair distance between the two of you, but she speaks loudly. I hain't seen a horse for years now. I just said it's weird to see such a large jackass, huh? Her voice is young and strong, with an accent that reminds you of the villages spread around Havlaven. No jackass would wear a saddle, I'd say. Hey, I'm gonna do a little voice acting, all right? Just let me live the version of the story that is true for me. She exchanges a few words with a male guard wearing green, giving you time to move closer. Well, this one here says there really are donkey saddles. Say, traveler, how hard is it to ride a horse? She's freaking hilarious, so I'm obviously going to respond with a joke. I laugh. You wouldn't believe it. The lessons were a pain. You get off your horse and imitate the silly walk from the day that followed your first long journey when your whole shell was crying. Wait, what? I make a joke and then I get off my horse and imitate the silly walk from the day that followed your first long journey when your whole shell was crying, meaning like, oh, I'm like in pain from walking on the horse. You illustrate the pain as you move your hand from your back to hips, then thighs. Man, I'm really putting on a show for this lady. In return, the guards tell you about that time when they had to carry their friend with bitten off legs for 3 days straight through the heart of the woods. Meanwhile, the other guards open the gate. Okay, I'm just talking about having a little like saddle soreness, and then they're like, yeah, our friend who got his legs bit off. How dare you? But okay. You may be in a good mood. The woman in the yellow jacket smiles at you. But don't get so noisy when you talk to our boss. The man never smiles. He has the world's suffering sculpted on his face. She leads you under the roof under which your palfrey can rest, tethered with a cord to a wooden post near some old hay. Once you're ready, go inside, speak with our boss. Maybe you're hungry? The other guards take care of various chores. They peek at your mount every now and then as they're splitting firewood, cleaning their clothes, weeding the garden patches, and moving chairs. 2 of them are making a rope. You head toward the inn, hearing the piercing scream of a boar from the other side of the yard. Okay. Wait, oh, this is the inn? New shelter unlocked. Okay. I mean, this is really well drawn. Like, they really did the isometric art well. Like, it's almost like an architectural rendering and isometric pixel art. I love it. The locked windows make the air stuffy, and the weak fire in the stove hardly lightens up the hall. A muscular man is sweeping the floor near the stairs, but after he glances at you, he leans the broom against the wall and heads behind the counter. Oh wait, if you're at an inn in the morning, you can spend the entire day on resting. Okay, nice. Oh, is this time of day? Oh, it's okay, cool. 13 hours, 45 minutes before dusk. You're lucky to show up. His voice is deep and soft with a city-like accent. He observes you with keen attention, yet avoids your eyes. I have a keg of decent ale. Wormwood, bog myrtle. I can't do what's a city accent? Wormwood, bog myrtle, juniper berries, cat's foot. He fills a mug carefully and puts it on the countertop. It's going to spoil soon, today maybe, and we don't drink here before the even. I hate to see the good stuff going to waste. His skin is dark, almost purple, rare even among the southern tribes. Wait, he has purple skin? Okay. And his hair is naturally bluish. Oh, okay, wow. This is pretty cool. His clothes are quite fancy for manual labor. The elegant tunic wouldn't stand out in the city square. I stand at the counter. The planks let out a creak after every step you make, so you slow down a bit. You could swear that the innkeeper made little to no noise. Here you go, he pushes the mug forward. But just so you know, my pelt of the north doesn't belong to Havlavin. You can sleep on the floor if you wish so, but if you want a bed or a meal, you have to pay. We may have some leftovers from dinner, but I need to check. Yeah, I'll be friendly. Thanks for the drink. I see you know how to make friends with a Roadwarden. That's good dialogue. I like that. He meets your eyes with a puzzled look, then grabs a wet cloth and starts to wipe down the shelves. From time to time, your conversation is interrupted by splashes of dirty water in a wooden bucket. Well, nothing is truly free. I have to work for a soul of the road. I have work for a soul of the road, but I don't need a new mouth to babble. He speaks slowly, yet audibly. I value my time. You should value yours. I tell the man I have a couple of questions. Sure, go ahead. I'm looking for Asterion. There we go. Yeah. Are you now? He goes to the table and invites you to sit down with him. I don't think I'm going to be of much help. He rests his elbow on the tabletop and grunts quietly to clear his throat. But I do want you to find him, so... When asked about his intentions, he measures his words. Asterion and I made a risky deal. Well, a very promising one. Last time he was here, he took 50 coins, my half of the investment. He knocks on the table with a fist, anxiously. If you get my coin, or at least find out what happened to the guy, I'll make sure you won't be disappointed after bringing me the news. Could it be that Asterion stole the coins and ran away? He looks at a window and starts to play with the shutter. I just think Asterion ain't the kind of soul that would do such a thing. For him, it wasn't much of a it wasn't much of a fortune, and I'd risk saying he had earned my trust. Not only mine, you know. It's easy for a Roadwarden to make connections. He always had places to go, things to take care of. He rubs the table with his thumb, as if trying to clean an invisible stain. I've asked travelers. I've sent a couple of my pals to find him. No real news. I know he stayed in the White Marshes for a day and was meant to do something for the people there. It's a village in the northwest. Just stay on the main road until you reach the bogs, then enter them. You may get there before dusk. So, let me know once you find anything, and we may yet return to this whole investment thing. I'll think about it. Hold on, wait, before I gotta remember this. He stayed in the White Marshes for a day. A village in the northwest. Stay on the main road until you reach the bogs, then enter them. Okay, that's like... It's going to be interesting if when I take a few days off of playing this and we try to come back and I just don't remember any of this information, you know? Hey, JF, what's up? How are you? Roadwarden, is that someone who works in a toll booth? Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, well, before they had tolls, before they had booths, the toll person had to actually walk up and down the road, I guess. But yeah, no, it's I'm enjoying this game. I think it's quite exciting. It's not exciting from a gameplay like stereotypical video game point of view, but I was saying at the beginning of stream, I've been tired of playing games that just don't have good characters and good stories. And then I saw this game pop up on Steam on sale, and it had such overwhelmingly positive reviews, I thought I should give this a try. And the story isn't supposed to be too long. It's only supposed to be like 10 or so hours. But because maybe I'm reading it aloud, it might take a bit longer for us. And I want to enjoy it and like think about the decisions and not just rush it to get to the end, you know? But yeah. All right, journal updated. Find the Roadwarden. He nods. What else do you need? I do need to eat. I could eat something. Yes, I feed them out. Yes, I feed them to our boar. I won't give them away for nothing. He tells you to wait, then leaves the building for a few minutes and returns with a wooden bucket and a long stick ending with a hook. Go through the gate and turn left. You'll see a bunch of bushes. We need some berries. Bring me a bucketful. You'll be done in half an hour or so. Your horse could use a nap anyway, and I'll prepare something to fill you. The hook is not made of metal or wood. It's a long curved claw, almost black. I reach for the tools. Half an hour. That's quite a lot for berry picking. I won't do that. Do I look like someone who forages for berries? The unnecessarily hostile. But my character grew up like in the small village. Like berry picking is not going to be above or below him, you know, like he's. But yeah, half an hour is quite long. Also, I just want to point out it is, you know, this long curved claw maybe is a bit suspicious. Maybe there's some, like this inn is a bit suspicious that it's so well maintained, you know, and it's kind of in the middle of nowhere. Like it's like a, what is it? Like a money laundering front for the guild and the illicit, Numa drug trade or something. Well, we'll find out. Who knows? The tools are cold, not too heavy. You notice a pair of thick gloves at the bottom of the bucket. The berries are not a problem, the innkeeper smirks. Unlike the snakes, better scare them away with a stick or move them with a hook. And protect your hands. The little one won't eat you, but don't get bitten. I'm sure you know how to be patient. I have other questions. Yeah, actually, this is a good one. I didn't expect to find an inn of this size in a place such as this. That's what I was just saying earlier. So you know a thing or two after all. His mocking tone is soon replaced by a gentle smile. It was built long before we arrived. It didn't work out well for the previous owners. Once the war ended, they left. Not enough travelers, bad trade, villages stick to themselves. We, however, came prepared, and now we're prospering. When you ask him how they can afford all the supplies, he runs his fingers through his dark hair. I'm not against running an inn, but we don't rely on guests. We're the ones doing all the trading. My hunters are a clever bunch and stay safe in the forest. In exchange for furs, claws, and bones, we get what we need, and more, both from the south and the north. He moves to the window and peeks outside. We have a good life here. We spent a whole lot on armor, crossbows, lumber, spears. But in another 10, maybe 20 years, we'll have enough savings to move to Havloven and not work for another day of our lives. We take risks, but smartly. The team is stronger than ever, and I have big plans for us. It's surprising to find a purple-skinned man so far in the north. Is that offensive? Like, everyone in this grimdark fantasy world is like actually super woke and politically correct. You know, they're like, how dare you? Is there a good story behind the inn's name? Well, actually, I am curious about the purple-skinned guy, because that hasn't been explained to us yet. I ain't seen a soul looking like this since my ma died, he shrugs. It's not a fascinating tale. Let's just say I wasn't a part of the invasion. Yet I'm glad it freed all those who were chained by the cities and their corsairs. He looks at the wall. Oh, this is a name. So I was going to say I thought this was a lowercase L, and I was going to say Lassen, but I guess it's Iason. Or Jason. Would Jason be a better? What's with fantasy worlds and their impossible to pronounce names? Is Havlavin? Like where does the accent go? All right, well, I will say Iason. I'm Iason, by the way, but I rarely hear the name. Is there a good story behind the inn's name? I mean, there's a story, but not a good one. He clears his throat. For years, I wanted to have an inn called Pelt, but in my city, it'd be in bad taste. Taverns and inns named with a single word were cheap, had a nasty reputation. There was the Claw and Mugger, Basilisk, and Blissful, I think. The good places used at least 2 words. Empty Barrel, A Rose in a Hamlet, Empress Smile. Pighead was the exception. It was a real dive. He chuckles. In my soul, it's still just a pelt. Pelts are what we came here for and what will make us reach our goals. Yeah, I have to say, this kind of characterization is so nice. Like, I love that. Like, he's thinking of all the whatever random in tavern names, and he's comparing his to that, and it's like really, it's little details like this in a story that just give it such charm. And I wish more video games did stuff like this. If there's a name you don't know how to say, just pronounce it in Finnish. Well, I can't even pronounce Finnish correctly, all right? I'll say, what can you tell me about the peninsula? What could anyone say? I also like this guy's dialogue. I feel like I can do his voice well. I feel like I can only do this sort of like Southern American voice. I'm not good at accents. This place doesn't even have a name, unless there's an old book in an archive that no soul knows about. You know what I'd call everything from here to the coast? The hunting ground. He glances at your eyes. But it's not us who hunt, keep that in heart, but the beasts in all shapes and forms. His words gain confidence slowly, which is strengthened by his deep voice. I've lived in this inn for over 10 years now, and I've only seen a couple of roads, a couple of places. It's just, once you get here and you see how harsh it is to hit the road, you've only more reasons to stay at the warm stove behind a wall, even if it's suffocating. He looks toward the windows. I'm sure you've heard a lot already, but people don't build hamlets anymore. There are no more ibexes from the south. And the traders stay for only a few days. All of our iron is used for cauldrons, not swords or tools. I'm curious about the eastern roads, because we didn't go east. I'm glad we chose west, because that was kind of lucky. I didn't know west would lead us to where we needed to go, this inn. Pretty much, don't leave the main road, I'd say. Not so far from here, you'll find an old dolmen. What is a dolmen? I also love stories that use old words. I assume this is some old word in English that's, no longer in use. But even if it's a made-up word, just for the fantasy, I like that as well. A few of my people had to spend a night there, and monkeys stole food and gods from their bags. It was their fault. One of them had fallen asleep in the middle of his watch, but the eastern forests are wild, the roads are rough, almost no soul lives there. One day all these roads will be swallowed by the trees again. The furthest my team's ever gone was the home of the Enchantress. Just stay on track until you reach the crossroads, right near an abandoned watchtower. From there, turn east. You'll recognize the place. It's a nice home in a lonely meadow, surrounded by a wall. He looks toward the closed window, then at you again. Kind of like our walls, but simpler, without coating. She lives as a hermit. Eudocia. I don't even know how she survives there, but if you don't have decent coin, you won't find much there. So back to the crossroads. If you turn left instead, you'll see a road. People stay away from it. It connects the tower and the monastery, a shortcut between the two sides of the peninsula. I was warned by the locals not to use it. It already belongs to the beasts. So wait, it's a road that connects the tower and the monastery. Okay. What will I find traveling west? Well, there are hills nearby. Then you'll find a village, maybe an hour away from here. It was destroyed by beasts almost a decade ago. Nothing to see there. The goblins live there now, so most people just travel around it. And they say it's haunted, but who knows? Who cares? He crosses his arms and starts to sway back and forth, gathering his thoughts. You'll get to a large tree on the edge of the swamp. For the locals, it's sacred. I'm still in his voice. I have my narrator voice. You're not used to hearing someone mentioning pagans as if there's nothing unusual about them. There's a small path south, which leads to an old mine in the mountains, nothing to find there. But keep riding north and you'll find Howler's Dell, set at a clean brook. Farmers live there, and mouflons and druids. They'll let you stay for a night, but they're not cheap. If anyone thinks my prices are bad, it means they ain't been to the Ape Ale Inn yet. He lets out a gentle smile. I smile politely back. I only know a bit about the next settlement, Old Pagos. There's also something satisfying about pronouncing these like fantasy, almost like you would normally imagine them in a British voice. Pronouncing them instead with this like southern drawl to it. Old Pagos. Can you imagine if like Gandalf, and like if Aragorn was like, I'm king of Gondor. That would be it would be a different experience in Middle Earth if they all had thick southern accents. Anyways, Old Pagos. The soil there ain't too fertile, so they work in their quarry and help other settlements build things in exchange for crops. The forests and hills ain't too harsh, but the Seekers have a small monastery nearby in the mountains. I don't care much about them. They keep to themselves and they don't pay well. The third village is unknown to me. White marshes, set at the bogs. I've heard it smells like a griffin's lair. I've heard a lot of nasty rumors about that place, but I won't share them. I don't want to be a lie spreader. So 3 villages, really. Howlers, the one near the monastery, whatever it's called, and marshes. Don't let their beds and palisades fool you, though. Weird people live there. Don't tell them more than you need to. You wonder if it's something he would tell other travelers as well. Have you ever been to the northern coast? I only know about another inn. It's far from here, maybe a day on foot, a bit less from the eastern side. His eyes once again focus on the floor. I've never been there, but I've heard it's a safe place, close to villages of fishers and hunters, though I don't know much about them. That's all I need. Any rumors worth sharing? He crosses his arms. I don't like to talk about people who ain't nearby. Show me first that you're someone worth changing a habit for. So he did tell me he didn't want to be a lie spreader, so maybe I shouldn't have asked him about rumors, but it was an option, so he doesn't trust me enough to share any gossip. Do I have anything you'd like to buy? Different traders are interested in different goods. They will purchase only some of the things you have to sell, and their offers may vary. You pull out some items, but the innkeeper shakes his head. I don't need those, nor could I sell them to anyone. I'd rather make coins than waste them, so bring me something of value. All right. What do you have for sale? I don't even know how many coins I have. I can go and pick up a few things for you. Some food for your travels to start with. Apples, nuts, sausage. Not too many at once. We need to maintain our supplies. I've got an elk fur I don't need. Its buyer was caught by a pack of red wolves. Nice for a sleeping spot. Just as nice for a wall. An almost untouched bowl of soap. Priceless for a traveler. You can't tell if he's being sarcastic. Made of fine oak ash. Strong. Though you should have some better supplies before you start your own bathhouse. After you mention you'd like something more useful on these roads, he looks down. I don't have any blades or armor to spare, but if you pay well, you can take one of our crossbows and a bunch of quarrels. a U-bow, wool cords, and the trigger needs just a little bit of oil. It's as good as you can get without soaking it in magic. Takes a bit of muscle to draw, but even a 16-year-old could handle it. I won't sell it cheap, but I'm ready to give a discount to a helpful ally. All right, let me take a look at what you have first. Ah, okay. So I can choose of these. I can't buy the crossbow. I don't have enough. I did. So this is my money. I've got 10 dragon coins or whatever, dragon bone coins. So I could buy. I guess I should get the soap, right? And the food rations. I can't get these other things, but maybe when I come back, if I do. Oh, I click here on buy. You can buy more tomorrow. You bought 3 food rations, and I'll get a box of soap. You added the soap to your travel set, and well, I'm not gonna carry around the corals if I don't have the crossbow. So, I already have the need anything done. I could use a job. I mean, didn't he tell me? Maybe is there another job that I could do? Oh yeah, I assume you mean a job for a road warden. Tell you what, he looks you in the eyes. There are brigands in the woods. Our place is a stronghold, so I'm not afraid of an open strike, but they've gotten more active in the last 2 years. One day they may steal our furs, and I've no doubt they're the reason why merchants come here only once. Having bandits around gets expensive. He rubs his hands together, camouflaging his paws. I want you to reach Howler's Dell northwest from here. It's the largest settlement around. I'm sure you'll get there sooner or later. Ask Face, the mayor, about Glausha, that bloodthirsty wolf of a woman. I've heard rumors about a raid in the north. Oh, so you have heard rumors that you're going to tell me about that you didn't tell me earlier when I asked politely. All right. If Glausha's ready to break the truce with the locals, I'm willing to join forces with them to get rid of her band. He looks at a nearby dragon bone. Not too difficult, right? Just do it when you have a chance. A couple of days won't make much of a difference. I'll pay you 2 coins when you get back with the news. Fine? I nod. I don't have any reason to haggle. And I don't want to offend him. I already kind of offended him by asking for rumors, and he was like, I don't trust you. All right. About Glausha's band. Ooh, actually, that's good. He freezes, observing your hands silently. He wants me to get the answer from the mayor of Howler's Dell. He's like, that's what I'm sending you there for. Why would you ask me to do, to do your job for you? Okay, all right, buddy. All right. That's all I need. I go outside. You step outside. Dusk Runner is fighting off flies with its tail. You hear the clinking of tools coming from the armorer's workshop. I guess I'm going to go forage for berries. I feel like I've been putting off this task for a long time. The innkeeper knew what he was talking about. He put on the gloves and looked at the bushes from a safe distance. It doesn't take long before you notice the first serpent lying on a rock somewhere in the thicket. The creatures are not that large, and even if some of them hiss at you or slither closer, the jabs of the hook keep them at a distance. You don't know much about these berries. They're round and reddish. You wouldn't trust such a color even if you were looking for food in the wilderness. The plants don't have thorns, but the leaves are harsh, so you make sure to thoroughly cover your skin with your clothes. You have to look through many bushes to fill the bucket, but the presence of insects and snakes doesn't allow you to relax. I gather the berries and go back to the inn. Gather the bucket full of berries. You've returned to the courtyard. 2 of the guards are participating in a friendly skirmish. Their wrestling is accompanied by a crowd. I enter the inn. The locked windows make the air stuffy, and the weak fire in the stove hardly lightens up the hall. The innkeeper is sitting at the stove, cleaning a set of metal tools and ladles. So, you again. Need anything? I put his fruits on the counter. What is that? You lost the berries. I saw something change over here and I don't know what happened. Was it my food? I don't know. Great. He peeks inside the bucket. I've got cabbage stew with a few goose chunks for you. I'd serve it even to merchants if there were any around. The meal's warm and filling. It's well seasoned and not overcooked. Oh, okay. That's why I got food. And like I said, I rarely have food to spare, but feel free to ask if you ever stop by. You may be lucky, and I've been cooking my whole life. Thanks. And how did that old hook of mine work out for you? I see you still have your hands. I've lost it? You can lie? Oh, wow. Could I buy it from him? What would I want the hook? He narrows his eyes. Can't you make one for yourself? It's the claw that grabs my interest, honestly. Oh, I see. It's a nice one, ain't it? My guards once had to get rid of a pebbler. You can't really eat them, but their claws and bones are durable enough, so we put them to good use. For a moment, he observes your face. A single coin would be fair. I pay him. 1 coin for a badass claw? Yeah. And also, maybe I can do some magic with it or something. He takes it with a nod. Need anything else? That's all I need. I go outside. I approach the guards. How about that? Oh, the woman in yellow. The woman in yellow armor is kneeling next to a brown, hairy boar, which is resting on its side. The beast is not as large as the dark ones from the forests. It responds to the touch of the human's hand and brushes the human's hand and brush with grateful grunting and rapid twitches of a hind hoof. No matter how friendly it appears, it's still tethered to the well, and you have no doubt that its charge would leave Duskrunner dead in a breath. Okay, it's a big boar and dangerous. When the woman notices you, she steps forward to the boar's disappointment. So the new Roadwarden. She points at a window with her chin, forestalling the question. We don't need anything now, but when we travel with our furs, we can use some assistance. She may be around 30, but her warm voice and bright smile are camouflaging the touch of time on her unpowdered face. Like many red-haired people with freckles, her skin is unhealthily pale. Hey, how dare you? Poor red-haired people get enough. Their representation in this fantasy world could be give them the escapism they deserve. No. The boar runs up to her, observing her boots and fruitlessly sniffing for food beneath the beaten ground. She pats it back, but maintains her focus. How about a game or two? We have a bit of time and can talk a bit about this and that. Maybe you'll get a couple of coins, or lose one. She winks. We could play dice or throw axes at a target. Sure, let's play some dice. Or I don't gamble? I don't think it would be against my character to gamble, you know. He's from like a small town. He probably would have engaged in a lot of these little games growing up. Your arrival, and especially the dragon bone you pull out, are cheerfully welcomed. 2 of the guards bring a table from the inn. Another one prepares a couple of stools and chairs. They're also spectators, and you're told that the other hunters are either sleeping or have duty on the tower. Remember, no magic, says one of the players. His face is deadly serious. The game is new to you, but in no way baffling. 4 people can play at once. The wooden dice are long, with only 4 dotted faces. The wooden dice are long with only 4 dotted faces. Okay. Is it like a triangle die that has only, like a pyramid? Every time someone wins a round, they get a point. And the person with the most points at the end of the game wins all the coins. As you play, you don't feel like you have much control over the results. Blend in with the group. You share casual jokes, memories, and views on luck and optimal strategies. Duskrunner and Tullius Camp are also brought up, but when you ask about the roads or the locals, their stories are vague. The drinks are here. It's a poor beer made from the leftovers after the regular brewing. It's cold, sweet, and doesn't reach your head, but you try to avoid the smell. Just don't spill anything. The boar may get sick, says your bald opponent. In just a few minutes, you get 2 points. which are now represented by smooth pebbles. You don't really know how you got them. Either you don't get the strategy or it's just pure luck. Wait. I got these pebbles. Okay, I haven't won the game, but let's see how lucky I am. +3? Oh wow, I actually made some money off of this. During the final round, you get ahead of everyone, and the spectators playfully comment on your moves. The winner takes all. 3 dragons are placed on the table, and you put them into your pouch quickly. The table and chairs are moved back into the building, and the guard in yellow armor thanks you for playing. Is there anything you need? We already played today. Have you ever been at the heart of the woods? Actually, I'm kind of curious. Tell me about yourself, right? Oh, what was that? After a brief giggle, her voice gets cold and serious. Nah, Roadwarden. We use names and stories among friends. You ain't one. Don't make me tempt curses. I thought she was like playful and flirty, and now she's like, I don't know. I have some questions about this place. Not much to tell, honestly. Oh, wait, is she upset because I won the game of chance? And is she like withholding information because of that? There are many beasts around, both wild game and dangerous monsters. We spend our time surrounded by these walls, leaving only to hunt, forage, or trade. That's an unusual tower. I'd expect it to be closer to the gate and shorter. Yeah, it is. It kind of just looks like a chimney. You know, like this was they're planning a building, and this would just be where the fireplace is. Like in Hovloven? Fair, but it ain't here to protect the gate. This stronghold was built long before we moved in, and not to fight off humans. The tower was meant to be used by those who observe the deep forest. We look out for fires, dragons, and any winged creatures that are looking to roost on the roof. Baldy, she nods toward a man who indeed is completely bald, has a great eye, and sees well even in darkness. Any interesting creatures living nearby? Ha, here? Everything lives here. She flips her hair. I swear, we saw a few dragons, a unicorn family, a battle between trolls and goblins, faced 2 beastmen, oh, and a gargoyle and a hunting queen shouts all the time. I could tell you all about them, but I won't. She winks and pats the boar on its head. You know, hunters have their secrets. Your group seems to be quite attached to this boar. How could you not be? She crouches and raises the boar's head, but it steps away and squeals as if someone's murdering it. It came with us from the city just in case. We had no clue how our first winter would go, so we needed some backup meat, and it works too. Cleans the dirt. She reaches out to the beast again, but it trots away. The woman straightens up with a pleased sigh. We haven't needed to eat it so far, but it's also funny. I learned in my home village that the farm boars are getting a bit smaller and more cuddly, kind of like ibexes. So it's not such a wild, dangerous beast, but we don't let it get close to other animals or children. What do you usually hunt for? Anything we can eat or sell. If there's a partridge, a squirrel, or a rat, we don't complain. But when we move as a group, we look for something larger. Deers and oryx are delicious, but we don't always look for a taste alone. There's value in bones, antlers, claws, tusks, things people use to make tools or sculptures. We use some of them to make tools and spears. You can never have enough spears. She pauses and looks at a strand of her hair, then suddenly speaks up again. And we look for furs, of course. What can I find north from here? I'm sorry, we don't really go to those regions. We stay close to home, only sometimes move south or west, to Howler's Dell, but only to trade. They're fine with buying more than they need, since they then take wares to the coast. She takes a long breath, twirling her hair and gathering her thoughts. You know what? I've never seen a beach. And I've been living here for how many? More than 10 years now. She giggles. The only part of the sea I've seen was from Old Pagos, which is a place on a hill. I've never put a toe in salt water. She looks toward another huntress who confirms that her experience is the same. But Old Pagos is a good place. As long as you don't mock their order and act nice, they'll also be kind. Boss says they're too serious for him to stand them, but at least they don't bite without a reason. Have you heard anything about the necromancers? It's something new. Her voice lowers to a whisper. I've never been to White Marshes, but over the years we've seen people moving away from there, south, They told us that the place has changed too much. A priest died, I think, and the new one awakens the dead. Sorry, Roadwarden, that's all I know. If she's hiding something, she sounds convincing. Thanks. She observes you with a hand casually resting on her hip. Have you ever been at the heart of the woods? We sometimes hunt south from here. Or we sometimes hunt south from there. There are good hunting grounds in the western half. The second one is too overgrown. Maybe the soil's different. She shrugs, then moves the hair away from her forehead. But it's a risky spot. There are tree ants there, and wolves, even the furless ones. And if you have to go through the tall grasses, watch out for what's on the ground. There ain't many archers in the trees. She smiles as if it's a joke. But there are all too many worms, even larger than a water leech. I was foraging for berries for the innkeep. She chuckles. So I've heard. Don't worry about it. Usually we forage by ourselves, but we wouldn't ask you for a dragon for a meal. A dragon is the coin. Okay. We wouldn't ask you for a dragon for a meal. He gives small jobs to people all the time just to see who agrees to do them. Wants to judge who's of use and who's too proud for their own good. I'm looking for knowledge about wild creatures. Well, I told you our knowledge is valuable. I don't know. She looks at the boar, which seems to be obsessed with the clump of grass growing next to the wall. 15 dragons, no less. Is there a discount for friends? She's going to be like, you're not my friend. Well, depending on the friend. She gives you a radiant smile. Let's say 14. If it's too much for you, maybe ask me after you spend some time around. Show us what you're capable of. Or play dice with us when you have an hour to spare. These folks here, she starts to whisper and points with her thumb at the guards behind. They crave gossip. Never mind. I don't have enough money. So I can't even really do much. She observes you with a hand casually, resting on her lip. Her hip, not lip. I walk away. You return to the courtyard. You hear the clinking of tools coming from the armorer's workshop. I head to the armor. Let's do that. I want to see. You walk past the well and find a small open shed, not unlike the stable, but with a humble set of tables, carving tools, hammers, sharpening stones, pincers, knives, and other tools. As long as something can be solved by brute force, this place will find a way to do so. I like this kind of characterization, you know? As long as something can be solved by brute force, this place will find a way to do so. There are two people sitting on a long bench. The first one is a male with maybe inch-long hair, a cleanly shaven face, a thin, long yellow tunic, bare legs, and sandals. He ignores your presence, sewing a gambeson with great concentration. The second person is a boy, maybe 15, who's wearing the crude outfit of a farmer. He glances at you, but soon returns to sharpening a long dagger. You know, I'm kind of curious, you guys. When you're reading in Finnish, or here in Europe, what do they do when they say an inch-long hair, right? When we're using freedom units, all right? I mean, not just freedom units, but like old measurements. Because wouldn't it be really weird to use centimeters to like mention a centimeter in the context of a fantasy story, like before that concept ever existed? I think it would feel like an anachronism. What happens in fantasy stories when they need to talk about distances and whatever measurements and weights? And I don't know, maybe one of you guys in chat, if you know, you can let me know. Greetings. I go up to the people on the bench. He's got a thin, long yellow tunic, bare legs, and sandals. He's got bare legs. He's just out there, just letting the breeze. The man raises his head, but it's the boy who speaks, focused on his task. He ain't talking. Tell him what it is that you need. The man smiles in confirmation, looks at the piece of garment in his hands, then looks around, shrugs, and returns to you with a raised eyebrow. I'm in need of your services. Could you patch my clothes? I look at the youngster, learning the trade I see. I'll talk to the youngster first, since he talked to me first. Kind of, he answers reluctantly, but his teacher pats his knee, giving him a harsh look. The kid clears his throat. Yes, but we both ain't masters, you see. There's not a soul to teach us, so once I'm ready, I'll try hunting instead. Fixing things for others is boring. The man grunts a sound, though you don't understand it. Seeing your face, the boy chuckles. He said safe. Let's meet in the middle. Boring, but safe. The man nods. Could you patch my clothes if they were torn? He shakes his head and points to the uneven seams on his own tunic, then grabs a crude bone needle and shows you its broken head. He wouldn't even if he had the tools, says the boy. But you can try in Howler's Dell or Gale Rocks. I'm in need of your services. He nods, points at the laces in the front of your jacket, raises his clenched fingers to his shoulder, then gently spreads and lowers them. Points to the laces in the front of the jacket, raises his clenched fingers to his shoulder, then gently spreads and lowers them as if he's taking off a robe. You follow his command and allow him to properly inspect your gambeson. Is this why he's not wearing pants or something? Is this like a thing? you gotta be naked in the armory for the proper experience. It's like the sauna. After a few minutes, he gives it back, then reaches for his pouch. He pulls out one dragon bone, shrugs, then another one, and waves both of them in the air, pursing his lips. He makes a few speech-like noises with his empty mouth, groaning what sounds like, I don't know. I consider his offer. In 1 hour, your jacket will be carefully patched up. Yes, of course I'm going to pay that. That's awesome. Your jacket is as good as this armorer can make it. I feel like this gambeson could use some adjustments. But wait, didn't I already do that one? He nods enthusiastically, but then apologetically points behind him at a small box filled with basic tools. He ain't that experienced, says his assistant. We do this and that, but only simple things. Okay, yeah, that's what I thought. I leave the shed. You return to the courtyard. You hear the clinking of tools coming from the armorer's shop. I've already done... Okay, but I haven't gone to the well yet. The recently renovated wooden roof covers the well from rain and birds. One of the guards is enjoying the cold drink he drew with the bucket and tells you to use only as much water as is necessary. The oak ash soap you own can help you get cleaner. You need 3 pieces of bathing equipment to get more out of this place. Wait. So I can use the soap now. I wash my shell. That's just I wash my body. Do people refer to their bodies as shells? Or is that just like something I do because I'm a mage? Is that part of my characterization, I guess? But yeah, I wash my shell. Splashing yourself with cold water from a bucket won't take away your smell, but it's enough to remove the tallow and sweat from your skin or mud stains from your clothes. I step away. You were in the sauna with the full experience 27 yesterday. You return to the courtyard. You hear the clinking, blah, blah, blah. I guess, wait, I did the well, the armor, the guards. I guess I'll go back into the inn because I'm going to go to sleep. I'm also going to end stream here in a little bit. This is when I would normally stop. But I have to say, like, I'm really engrossed in the story. Like, I don't feel tired. I don't feel like I want to stop playing, like I need a break. I feel like, you know, when you start a good book and you're like, oh, I got to keep reading, you know? That's how I feel. I feel like I'm at the start of something really good. So I'm glad I got this game. I'm glad I read the reviews and thought, okay, I should give this a try. But yeah, let's get to a good stopping point. Maybe we can go to sleep. The open windows fill the hall with refreshing air. The innkeeper standing behind the counter preparing a set of mugs. Something bothering you? Wait, I mean, this is it. Wait, can I sleep? What do I do? I went outside already. About Glaucia's band. Will he talk to me now? Yeah, no, he won't tell me because I have to find that out. I can't sleep yet. 10 hours before dusk, day 1. Show me your wares? I can't buy anything, or I don't want to buy the corals. That's all I need. I go outside. Didn't I do everything? Oh, travel. I need to travel. Okay, that's what I need to do. Oh my gosh, I gotta remember. Where is it? I feel like he was telling me I need to go northwest. Okay. The road uphill meanders, slowing you down and forcing you to pay close attention not only to the shadows of the trees, but also to the tight, rocky passages. You can't help but notice a few caves and fine ambush spots. I keep an eye out for any sign of life. Uh-oh. Why wouldn't I stay at the inn and sleep? But I guess it's in the middle of the day. You know, I was only there at like noon. I had lunch there, I guess. But yeah, maybe we'll stop here because I don't want to like start discovering a new because we're approaching a gate, you know. So we'll save that for next time. Let's see this. What is quick save? And then, okay, there we go. We're doing well. Garrett, the Roadwarden. After years of practicing with axes and magical amulets, I left home to escape my difficult past. Yeah, I already saved it. Good. Good. All right, guys. Thank you for joining the stream. I'm impressed with this. Like, it's well written. I like the characterization. I feel like it's such a good balance of dialogue and information. So I never feel like I'm getting too much information at once. But I'm also, you know, getting really colorful characters and, you know, nice, like really, yeah, nice moments. And it feels like I'm actually involved in the story, and getting to make decisions that affect how I proceed. It doesn't feel like I've had to make any serious decisions, like, but who knows? Like, what if I had turned right at that first crossroad? I wouldn't have gone to the inn. I might be on some totally separate branch of the journey or of the story. You know, it's pretty interesting. So, yeah, I wonder, this could be a fun game to replay. And if I really enjoy this first playthrough, I might do it again. Maybe on my own. Maybe do it on my own time off stream. Because I like playing a lot of games with you guys. That was something I was looking at today. I have so many games sort of on the back burner, on the backlog, that I would like to play with you guys. Like, in a lot of the games are quite short, that are less than 10 hours, maybe like only 2 or 3 hours. So we could play a couple of those sort of simple puzzle games or like atmospheric games. Those are also fun. But one other thing I was thinking, I would love to play Terraria with you guys. I haven't played Terraria in so long, like a proper playthrough. And I only did one playthrough back in like 2019 when I first played it. So I don't remember much. And it would be nice to do a full playthrough. But I know it's going to be more of an investment. It's going to be like at least 50 hours to beat the game. And I don't think I ever got past hard mode when I first started playing. So we'll see, but I kind of just want to take on some game, like different. I want to play lots of different types of games, and I've never played a text-based game like this. The only thing I played, I remember as a kid in school, we had those. I think they were the Apple I or Apple II computers in our our computer class, and they only had a couple games, and one of the games was this text. It was purely text-based. There were no graphics, and it would just describe that you're in a room, and then you would type, I'd look at this, and it's like, oh, you take a closer look, and you see a gleam of gold in the beneath the blanket or something, and it's like, oh, and it felt like you were discovering, and it felt like magic that you were just typing things, and the game was clever enough that it could respond if you use certain keywords. It's nostalgic in a way, though this is a bit different from that. Obviously, this is more story driven, I feel. But yeah, thank you guys. Thank you all for being here. I will continue this live stream or this playthrough, hopefully before next Thursday. I have to double check schedule wise, but I feel like maybe over the weekend or Monday we can play again, or maybe tomorrow. Who knows? Maybe tomorrow, because it's so fresh. It'd be nice to continue it, but I'll make an announcement on Discord. It would be in the evening anyway. So have a good rest of your Thursday evening, and yeah, I'll see you guys in the next live stream. Goodbye.